Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to the Ohio Gripe. We got an excellent show for you today. I actually don't know if that's true or not. I just felt like saying it.
To be determined.
I'm going to try to turn up the volume a little bit here.
All depends on what people think are good.
Oh, yeah, exactly. All right, so what are we going to talk about today? I got something quick. If
Go ahead.
you want me to start?
Yeah,
You want me to go first?
sure.
You want me to go before you? You want me to be the leader, the head of the pack, the guy who goes first? Front lines? Okay, fine. All right, this is a little late, but I decided to do it anyways. So we got a bunch of snow a few weeks back, and then we got a little bit more snow a couple days later. I think I didn't add up the totals, but I'm going to say roughly around here we got like maybe we had like 15 inches of standing snow. Standing meaning it was there for a week or two.
Yeah, in some places.
And then we had a night of rain, like it rained for several hours. And I just remember thinking that is a lot of water.
Yep.
Because that rain is melting the snow really quick. We did have some flooding, but nothing super bad. So I guess if nothing else, people in Ohio kind of learned how to live with the weather. But it got me thinking. And since I was thinking, I thought that I'd go over just some of the snowfall we get in this crazy state. And I got a website here. This is currentresults.com. I mean, I'm going to trust it because it is statistics that it's fairly easy to get a hold of. But, you know, whether you want to believe it or not. But we get record snowfall quite a bit.
Yeah.
So I'm going to run down this list. It starts, I think, December 3rd, 1893 is the first year that it starts. I think it's the first year it starts. And I'm going to go back up and see what it says here. Cleveland extreme daily snowfall for each year. Here's a list of early records for the heaviest snowfalls and snowiest days in Cleveland, Ohio. So this is focused on the top of the state. Excuse me. Which matters. I think there's a big difference between,
Yeah, because they get the lake effect.
Yeah, like Cincinnati. And I think it's just far enough north that they're in the snow belt and the bottom of the state isn't. But we're just going to go ahead and run with these numbers because why not? All right, so I'll do this real quick because there is a lot. But what's the first one? Inches, in centimeters. Oh, well, we won't bother with the centimeters. But on December 3rd, 1893, it recorded of 6 inches. So it was like the average dude. And then February 12th, 1894 was 5 inches. Doesn't really get extreme until you get to 1896. February 9th. I wasn't alive yet. 13 inches. And I imagine this is in one night. Doesn't really say. But, and then it's nothing really big. 1897, 1898. It's pretty, 3 inches, 5 inches, pretty normal. 8 inches, it's quite a bit of snow. I think we got 8 inches at...
the first day?
No. It was Christmas Eve, like 2020.
Oh, yeah, I think you're right. Yeah,
and then it snowed Christmas Eve. It was like the first time that I remember. I'm sure it's happened, but it was the first time I remember we got a lot of snow Christmas Eve. So all the kiddies waking up would have snow sled riding. I don't even know if they buy sleds probably not.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure they still buy sleds.
For Christmas? Who knows?
Maybe for after Christmas, but...
Yeah. Because, you never can count. Usually it just rains. All right, November 10th of 1913, we got 17.4 inches in one night. That is extreme. That's a lot of snow in one night. And then, of course, 5 inches, 4 inches, 6 inches, 1.8 inch on 1919. That was quite a mild year. And January 9th, 8 inches, blah, blah, blah. It keeps going. 8 inches, 4 inches, 3 inches. And then
70-something was the highest ones.
Yeah, well, we're getting there. Yeah. And then the next big one was in 1936, November 26th. So some of you might remember that. Yeah, anyways, 11.6 inches in one night. And then April of 1938 was 7 inches in one night. And then it's, pretty simple, 7, 7, 6, 3, 2, 1. And then November 25th, 1950, we got 12.8 inches. That's a lot of snow. So I'm almost noticing a pattern. 1950 and then 1954. It seems like roughly Yeah, because here's 54 and in 1960, so it seems like every 4 or 5, maybe 6 years, it really dumps on us. I love those patterns. You know what I mean? Because, 5, 6 years go by and you think, oh, we have no dumps on you.
Yeah,
And you look
get...
back and you're like, hey, wait a minute, it was only 4, maybe 5 years ago that it's not every year. Okay, so in November 25th, 1950, we got 12.8 inches dumped on us. The very next year, November 18th, 1951, we got 9 inches.
Still pretty good.
Yep. And then March 1st, 54, 10.8 inches. And then the next big one is March 3rd, 1960. We got 10 inches. That's a lot. And then it's off. And then, okay, here's a huge gap. So we got 61 is 3.4 inches. And then the next big one, this is I was almost a year old. Yes, I was almost a year old. We got December 1st, 1974, was 10 inches in one night. Yeah. And in the previous year, February 16th, which is just shy of a full year before I was born, we got 8 inches. And then, of course, everybody remembers the blizzard of 78, even if you weren't alive in 78. Big blizzard, 1978, January 20th, 1978, 10 inches. Not that extreme with snowfall, but it was blizzard. There's a difference between snowfall and blizzard. We got, I think, like 12 inches a few weeks back, but it wasn't a blizzard. It was just super heavy snow over a long period of time. Blizzard is like a storm. Anyways, so yeah, there's 78, and then that's all it says for 78. So it must have just been like high winds and then some a lot amount of snow. Okay, March in 82, we got 9 inches in one night. And then I believe there was another blizzard somewhere in the 80s, but I'm not seeing massive snowfall. It was 9.2 in 82, 9.3 in 87. And yeah, and then the next big one was February 23rd, 1993. I don't remember that. That was a couple of months before I graduated. It was 13.6 inches. I don't remember that at all.
It was my birthday.
Yeah?
Yep, 23rd.
Well, it was a snowy birthday for you that year.
Yes, it was.
And you were a senior then, right?
I was graduated. I was already out of high school.
Oh, that's right. You didn't get held back.
No.
And then 12 inches on December 9th, 1995. And then 10 inches on December 25th, 2002. So that's Christmas Day. I think I remember that. It's a buttload of snow. Anyways. And then 9 inches 2004, 9 inches 2005, 6 inches 2006, and then 10.4 inches February 13th of 2007. And then this one, I remember this one distinctively. March 8th, 2008, we got 10.8 inches of snow. And I remember that one because it was a genuine blizzard because I have it on video.
Yeah.
And I have lightning. That's right. I videotaped a blizzard with lightning, and I have that on tape. It's crappy tape because 2008, I couldn't afford a really good camera, but I got it. You watch the snow going by the window and then blowing, and then all of a sudden all this lightning. I used to have it on YouTube, but they took it down because it's copyrighted music.
Of course.
And I don't think I ever... Well, this was back when they first started doing that, and then I just never re-uploaded it. February 4th, 3 days before my birthday, 2009, 10.9 inches. I'm going to kind of go a little quicker here. And then, excuse me, 2010, 4 inches, big deal. 2011, 8 inches one night. That's kind of big. November 27th, 2014, 7 inches. 7 inches the next year, and that's it.
Oh, and yes, happy belated.
What?
Was we here on the 7th?
Was we here on the 7th?
I didn't say happy birthday to you that day.
Oh, yeah, who cares?
Sorry.
I don't give a shit about my birthday.
That was the day before my surgery, so I was kind of in other places with my mind.
But anyways, he's only doing that because he wants me to say happy birthday for him.
No, I don't care. But what I don't get about every year in Ohio, no matter whether we get a lot of snow or not, people freak out and act like it's a surprise.
Oh my gosh, I know.
They're like, oh my God, it's snowing
it's so simple.
bad.
It's called tires. All right, I know tires are expensive. I get it. but you don't want to mess around with cheap tires. Okay, you hydroplane, you don't get grip in the snow or the slush. Good tires will give you mild grip on ice. Not great, but better than cheap tires. So it's one of those things, if you have to save up, but just get good tires.
Yeah.
It makes all the difference in the world. Now, I got something here. I'm probably not going to go into it, but it just said the perfect storm, a look back at the great blizzard of 1978. The blizzard dumped vast amounts of snow with near hurricane strength gust winds, heaping snow into enormous drifts up to 15 feet tall. Now, again, this was 78. And if I'm not mistaken, I think that is, to date, the worst blizzard recorded in Ohio history. It was 78. I might be wrong about that, but it's Columbus. This week marks 44 years since the Great Blizzard of 78. The massive winter storm hit Ohio Valley and the Great Lakes January 25th through the 27th. Now, you can find videos of that on YouTube, and it is amazing. I was only 4 years old, but I do remember it was in the 80s because my parents had moved to Hartville. We had a bunch of snow, obviously one of those years that I just mentioned. And I remember the snow drifts were so huge, so much taller than me, but I was a little kid.
You remember getting out of school often for snow?
Hell no. No, Lake High School being the prison that it was, the principal at the time used to say that if he can get there, then the buses can get there. So if he was able to arrive to school, then we had school. So we almost never got snow days. I can probably count on one hand how many snow days we had.
Yeah.
You know, and then nowadays, all you got to do is fart sideways and the kids get out of school. So, yeah.
I ain't arguing with that.
I mean, it's ridiculous. The Great Blizzard of 78 was the result of relatively rare merger of two distinct upper-level waves. A bunch of jargon. One over Texas and the other over the northern plains that caused an explosive, in fact, I can't even say that word, of the surface low-pressure system moving through the Gulf Coast of Ohio. I didn't know there was a Gulf Coast. Oh, never mind. From the Gulf Coast into Ohio. My bad. The storm... Sorry. I'm actually reading faster than I should. The storm system produced some of the lowest pressure readings ever recorded in the United States mainland. The United States mainland that were not associated with hurricanes. So there you go. But there is a lot of footage on YouTube about the Great Blizzard, and let's hope that we don't.
I remember being out waiting at the bus stop, 6 inches of snow, 2 below zero.
Yeah.
Put your coat.
Did you
in
have
your
far
hat
to
on.
walk? Did you have to walk real far to get to your bus stop?
For a few years, yeah. I had to walk like 3 blocks.
If you knew the neighborhood I grew up in, it was a cul-de-sac. It was a dead-end street. It was a circle is what it was, went up in a big circle. And, I mean, it was a long walk for a little kid, especially in the snow.
Yep.
My dad kept the driveway clean, and every once in a great while the township would come and plow the street. So it wasn't awful. But, yeah, we'd walk down the street and wait at the... Because the bus never came up our circle. It just stopped at the beginning of the road.
And the parents didn't want you to get off school because then they might have to stay home from work.
No, my mom didn't work. My mom was a stay-at-home mom.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, she also wanted my ass at school because that's a pain in the ass. She didn't get a lot
Never.
Well, she didn't get a lot of breaks. I was sick a lot when I was a kid. I spent a lot of time on the couch throwing up and just being sick. I had all kinds of problems, mostly allergy-related, but sinusitis, rhinitis, sinus infections, upper respiratory infections, bronchitis, you name it. I was always sick, just flat out nasty allergic reactions. I had one allergic reaction that had no rhyme or reason. I woke up and I looked like the Elephant Man. From the neck up, everything was completely swollen and out of proportion. Like I looked like I had the mumps, and my eyes were swollen. I think swollen shut or close to it, and it was just neck up. And I felt fine, but my face was, I'm not an animal. And the mother rushed me to the doctors, and that was a completely useless thing to do. The doctors came in and went, does this hurt? And then, I swear to God, then he's like, give me a second. And he comes back in with every other doctor in that building. Have you ever seen this shit before? I don't know what that is. Can you dunk his head under hot water or something?
Oh, my God.
They gave me a steroid. And actually, the funny thing is by the time I got to the doctor's office, a lot of the swelling had gone down. It still was there, but it wasn't anything near like when I woke up. No, they had no answers. They gave me a steroid and
sounds like an allergic reaction to something.
It was. It absolutely was. But to what? No one knows.
You don't know.
They just chalked it up as growing pains. Well, your body's changing, and I was still a little kid.
Jeez.
I wasn't scared because there was no pain, and I knew it would go away. But yeah, the doctors were so useless back then. They're still useless. Anyways, so that's it. Thought I'd talk about those things. So what do you got?
Okay.
Sorry,
you threw me off.
I took it by surprise.
Yeah, I didn't think.
And then my face swelled up, and then all of a sudden, so what do you got?
Yeah, you threw me off there. I found these 13 important survival facts. It says they're never too late to learn.
Oh, survival.
This is coming from lensvid.com.
Now, what is the point? Are you expecting people to be out in the wilderness, or
some of these are wilderness ones? Yeah.
So this is just basic facts that everyone should know.
Oh, these are more for when you're out in the wild than it is for just every day. This first one is funny because I've heard this before. Do not try to punch a shark in the nose. Have you ever heard that one?
Well, I mean, how would you do that?
The myth is the punch. Well, it's not a myth. They punch a shark in the nose; it'll deter it from biting you, supposedly. But
that only works for humans, people.
It says don't do that because you're more likely going to be inaccurate and end up with your arm in its mouth, which is true. It says so if you do get confronted with a shark, try to stay calm and go for the fins or the gills of the eyes. And I'm like, how are you going to be fast enough to go for the gills and the eyes?
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. Let's be honest. First off, we're Ohio Gripe, so we're talking about Ohioans here.
Well.
And I'm sorry, but if you're in the ocean and a shark is coming towards you, I'm pretty sure the only thing you're going to be able to accurately do is and then swim a little bit and then just get eaten.
Yeah, that would be me panicking, like, what the shit?
Yeah, I mean,
that's the reason I don't go in the ocean.
I guess if you're lucky and you haven't gone to the bathroom, you can kind of do one of those squid things where you just release a cloud of shit. That would be the
Maybe
best.
Deter it with stink.
Yeah, well, just, swim through this.
But they're the main reason I don't go in the ocean. Sharks. I fear sharks really bad.
You know what's funny is I don't think I would fear sharks, however. I have a cousin who lives in Florida, and one year, this way back, he took a helicopter ride, joyride, I guess, and they flew over the coast where people were swimming, and he was telling us he couldn't believe people were just swimming away, and he said you could see all the sharks swimming beneath them. He said he couldn't believe how many sharks were that close.
Damn.
Just swimming underneath these people.
Ugh.
So, I mean, if you think about it, people go in the ocean every day by the hundreds, so...
Yeah.
Anyways.
I love the ocean, and I love being on the beach by the ocean, but going in the ocean is something that scares crap out of me. Always has and always will.
I wish I could say the same, but I'm too embarrassed.
I mean, if you end up in the ocean because something happened, but if I can, I avoid it.
Like Sharknado?
Yeah,
whatever. That would send me into the water.
That's a stupid ass. That movie was ridiculous.
But no,
I couldn't even get halfway through that thing.
Yeah, there's a limit to everything, and I've wrecked my body so much that I don't think I'd want to put it on display for anybody.
Yeah, well, that's a different kind of fear.
My fear is I'll be shirtless on a beach, and here comes Candace Owens. You're gonna die. You're gonna die. And knowing my luck, I'd be eating like a burrito while she's saying it. You're gonna die.
Now, why would she say that to you?
I don't know. She's the first one that pipes up when someone talks about fat people not being as unhealthy as people claim. It's like, just because you're fat doesn't mean you're gonna die tomorrow.
All right, I'm going on. Second tip: never wait 48 hours to report a missing person.
What is it? Don't you have to wait a particular amount of time?
It says it's a common and procedural in crime TV shows to wait 48 hours, but that is to make it dramatic in the shows. Mm-hmm. In real life, the first 48 hours are the most likely time when they'll find the person, so you report it immediately. In real life, they don't make you wait 48 hours. They said don't do that because by that time they may not be findable.
Oh. It is a lot of time. It's like 2 full days.
Here's another one for in the water. Drowning people rarely can scream or wave their arms in the air. I didn't know that.
Well, aren't they underwater?
Otherwise,
you're not drowning.
Despite how it's often shown in the media, most victims of the drowning are unable to yell or splash. They more commonly can be recognized as appearing to climb an invisible ladder, or someone's head is tilted back in the water with their mouth open. So that you can tell if you know what to look for that someone's drowning, but they probably can't signal you or scream to you.
Is it true that you can get disoriented and like swim down and not realize you're heading downward?
I don't know. I never thought about that. I've heard that before, but I never really put too much thought into it. I didn't think that'd be possible because I sure as heck know where up is when I'm in the water.
Well, yeah, you just stop swimming and you float,
right?
To some degree. I mean, there's air in your lungs. It should be.
I mean, and usually if it's maybe at nighttime it's different, but you look up and you see light. That's what I would think. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But
unless you're skinny dipping.
Yeah. It's nighttime. You're not sure.
Then a shark's going to bite your pecker off. Anyway,
shut up. Bite your leg off. Don't try to run downhill to escape a bear. They can run downhill just as fast as you, if not faster. It says that use bear spray. That does actually work. But the myth is that bears have shorter front legs so that they can't run downhill as fast, but they can run fast.
Bear spray is not to be confused with the diarrhea that's flying out your ass as you're running from a bear.
They can definitely outrun you, so don't try to outrun down the hill. In Australia, I don't know how true this is anywhere else. Anti-venom is universal, and you don't need to know what the snake was that bit you.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, many people believe they're bitten by snakes. It's important to be able to identify or catch the snake, but that's false. Most anti-venoms are produced to counteract venoms of snake of a specific region, so long as you know where the snake is from, like in Australia.
I was bitten by a gardener snake. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. I'm not going to make it.
I don't like snakes at all, but I'd handle a gardener snake all right. I've been bit by them plenty of times.
Gardener snakes, they're just big enough to where you would see them and, they're such a cute little thing. But, they got little heads and they're not going to hurt you. They're constrictors. They don't have venom.
Yeah, I've been bitten by them. It doesn't even
I have never been
much.
Bitten by a snake. How do you get bitten by a snake? What were you doing with
You're
snakes?
stupid enough to try to catch it.
Well, yeah, I've caught gardeners. You pick them up by the tail, and they just kind of hang there and say, would you please let me go?
Well, not if you don't know what you're doing. If you go for the head.
Well, even if they do bite you.
It's not that bad.
You know what? I would say it's
like a bee
almost
sting.
equal. Yeah, well, I would say it's almost equal to getting hit by a large praying mantis. They got those.
I've never had that happen.
Yeah, I've had a praying mantis log onto my finger before. And it does hurt. That's like it's like sticking your hand in a thorny bush. That's what it feels like. But anyways, gardener snakes are just adorable. They're just so cute. And they eat insects and things like that, which makes them wonderful. So if you see a snake in Ohio, chances are it's a gardener snake. Just leave it alone.
Yep.
It's not going to hurt you.
And then people freak out, though, and see it. Oh, my God, it's a huge snake. It was like 6 feet long.
Yeah.
Barely as big as your hand.
And in Florida, they have pythons where the middle of their body is the same width as my fist. And that's small.
I forget that crap. Okay. Jumping into water from a tall height can be deadly. This I didn't know, because I see people do it on TV all the time.
Yes, water doesn't move quickly.
Despite what you might have seen in movies and games, water will not prevent a fall from being deadly. Falls or dive from a height greater than 25 feet are incredibly dangerous and should not be attempted, or you may suffer severe or deadly bodily harm. That I didn't know. You see people jumping off rocks all the time.
Yeah.
Like, oh, look at this. All I can think is you hit that water, what's under the water? That's what I'd be afraid of.
There's a rock you didn't know about.
I'd never heard this one. Do not drink water from a cactus, even if you are desperate.
Yeah, I heard that too. It's actually not water. It's like real milky, and it's very little water.
So yeah, it says survival shows might show you that a cactus water is a viable substitute for water if you ever find yourself lost in a desert. But it's a myth, because if you consume cactus water on an empty stomach, you'd suffer diarrhea and vomiting, which would dehydrate you much faster.
Well, I suffer from that anyways.
Yeah, some people have that problem. I've heard this one before. Don't try to zigzag run to escape an alligator. just run as fast as you can. I've never had an alligator chase me, but it says you might hear in Florida when it comes to avoiding gators, run in a zigzag. It's unlikely to work because alligators can run up to 25 miles per hour. The best thing to do is just get as far away as possible. Their sprint is quick, but it's only for a short amount of time.
And my fat ass, I'll be lucky if I hit 10 miles an hour.
Yeah,
3 steps in. And then the alligator just, hors d'oeuvres.
Well, it's most likely, though, they say they're just trying to defend themselves, so they're not going to come after you.
Yeah, but an alligator defending itself is kind of like when a lion defends itself. I mean, they do a lot of damage.
Yeah, they can. They sure can.
Those friggin' dinosaurs.
No, that's another animal I don't ever want to mess with. I like seeing them. When I was in Florida, I liked seeing them.
Yeah, they're nice on my TV screen, but that's about it.
Don't try to drink your own urine to stay hydrated. It's toxic. It says even though some survivalists may disagree, drinking your urine is far worse than not drinking anything because it will make you throw up and lead faster to dehydration. Plus, it could cause infections that follow the ingestion.
You know, that's a good point. The survivalists say, drink your urine. Yeah, but if it makes you throw up,
You're dehydrating yourself.
Well, let's
worse.
not even think about that. Let's just think about all the water you drank to stay alive. It's now all over the ground.
Yep.
Makes no sense. Plus, your urine is full of everything your body doesn't want.
Yeah, that's true. I've heard that you can filter it. They do that in Japan.
Les Stroud, I'm sure I'm saying his name wrong. He's a Canadian. He showed on one of his survival shows how you can filter it. Now, he was on a beach in the sun, and he took some sand, and then he found like a container that would catch the water, and then like a sheet of plastic. All right, so hang with me here. So he peed in a circle, put the Tupperware in the middle of that circle, and then he put plastic, and he had the plastic like pointed downward. So basically the sun evaporates the moisture, it hits the plastic, and then runs down to the point, which was right above the Tupperware, and that's what filtered it. It was just pure water. All the stuff in your urine stayed in the sand, and the pure water came up, and then he, like the next day.
Well, like if you're trapped in the ocean, you can do that too, can't you?
I imagine.
Salt water,
I don't know.
The ocean water filter to plain water.
My idea of survival is going to the kitchen. I mean, we're starving. Let me get DoorDash going. I mean, I've never been in a survival. I live in Ohio.
We're starving over here. Order DoorDash.
I've often told the wife, if we run out of food, I mean, there's geese and duck all over this state.
That's true.
You just here, ducky, grab, shake. Okay. Anyone know how to pull the feathers out?
I read a story where someone couldn't speak English very well, and he was working for somebody doing their gardening, and he came across a geese and it hissed at him real bad, and it scared him. He said, "I don't like cobra duck."
Cobra duck.
And I thought that was funny as hell.
It was like this, and he kept coming at me. I couldn't believe it.
All right, I've heard this one too. Taking your clothes off to cuddle will not save you from hypothermia. That's only true if your clothes are wet. If your clothes are dry, it's best to stay clothed and cuddle. It'll still help you keep warm. But if your clothes are wet, yeah, it says that's the only right time to take your clothes off and snuggle to try to keep warm.
Dude, you just ruined a bunch of people's romantic evening. I'm not in the mood. Come on, we got to do it. I'm cold and I need to survive.
Oh, my God. Yeah, if you're at the house, do what you got to do. Some survival experts recommend drinking wild water, but only if you're desperate.
My brother got sick off that. That's funny as hell. We were kids, and my brother and my neighbor and I were... Now, behind my parents' house was a couple of cornfields and some railroad tracks. And the railroad tracks ran pretty much... I don't know how far south they go, but they went all the way to Canton, because me and my dad walked the railroad tracks all the way from Hartville into Canton.
Okay.
And then called somebody to come pick us up. But if you walked north, you went into the heart of Hartville. We never went further than that, though. I never walked north that much. But, there's a lot of open ground in between our house and Hartville. There's a lot of open fields and a couple of creeks, a couple of little puddles, like literally puddles. And we were kids and playing around, and my brother, being the anti-genius that he was back then, saw a creek that the water was pretty clear, and it did have a gravel bottom to it. And he's like, this stuff is clean. All the gravel and the sand are clean. So him and my neighbors, and I'm just like, I'm not drinking that shit. You know, I was a little kid. I was just like, that's gross. I'm not drinking. Like, oh my God. Well, the next day, my neighbor and my brother were sick as hell.
Mm-hmm.
Because God knows what they drank. I don't know if it was a chemical sick or if it was bacteria, but yeah, they were sick. And I was like,
Well, it says here that dehydration is a real threat in the wilderness without water, which is true. But they said you should have. Common belief is that you should avoid the standing bottles of water because of the viruses they could contain, which is like what sounds like your brother picked up something. It said, however, those usually take days to be deadly, while dehydration will only take a half a day. So it's better to stay hydrated and get treatment after you get rescued.
if it's possible, just boil the water.
Yeah, if you can.
I mean, you know, all you got to do is start a fire and, well, I mean, you need a bunch of stuff. You need to put the water in something that's metal and start a fire and blah, blah, blah. So it's not easy, but I'm just saying, just boil the friggin' water.
Yep. Yeah, I've heard that too. Never use rocks found near bodies of water for a campfire because they could explode.
That's right.
I didn't know that.
I also know, I was watching a show. It was one of these Discovery Channel shows, and they were talking about like weird deaths or something like that, or things that happen. And I remember this guy, I don't remember where he was. I want to say it was California, but he was in a canyon, and he found not a cave, but an area where the canyon was indented enough to where he could set up camp. And he started a fire next to his sleeping bag. And what the fire did was, overnight as it burned, it heated up some water and busted loose a gigantic chunk of rock, and it fell on him and killed him.
Oh, Jesus.
We're talking like a car-sized chunk of rock.
Holy crap.
That it came off of the ceiling because the fire heated up, must have been moisture, and it split it. So, yeah, his campfire killed him. I can't remember the show. I know you're just listening to me BS, but no, I swear I saw it. I watched it on a show.
That's exactly what they say here. It says the water will evaporate the moisture within the rock, and that will cause the rock to expand suddenly and explode.
Yeah, it's like a bomb.
So it's dangerous.
The same thing happens to wood. Anybody's had a campfire, you're sitting there camping, all of a sudden, it's moisture gets hot inside the wood and causes the wood to split.
That would suck.
Well, you've seen it, and then you see like ambers come out, but it's extremely mild compared to a rock. A rock is a freaking grenade.
Oh. That sucks that killed a guy. That's a shame.
I can't remember the show. I can't even remember where it was at, but yeah, a huge chunk of the roof of the canyon busted off because it heated up because of the campfire and squished him.
Oh, jeez.
Hopefully he died quick.
Hopefully.
Okay. What else?
Water receding to reveal the seafloor is a sign of a tsunami coming.
Yeah, but that happens quickly, right? Like within seconds?
Well, it says that if you know what to look for, and you can see most of the shoreline showing itself more and more, that you should go find some shelter. Because that means a tsunami is coming. It doesn't say how fast it happens. That'd be nice if they did say that.
Next time any Ohio would go to the ocean, as soon as the waves coming in, it recedes like a half inch. Oh my God, run! We're all gonna die! Run!
They're gonna be out there, and the tide goes out, and they're gonna freak out.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my
God! Don't wait for your car to fill with water before attempting to escape. Get out as soon as possible. Yeah, I've heard that when you wait for it to pressurize.
Yeah, but Mythbusters. I mean, if you have something that can break the glass, that's fine. Otherwise, there's so much pressure, you can't do anything.
Well, it just says try to get out as soon as possible. Don't wait, because by the time if you wait too long, you might be too far underwater to get out. Like you might be 20 feet, 30 feet underwater.
Yeah, some cars.
Next thing you know, you're drowning. So, but
I guess it's good to carry those. They're little tools that you can buy that'll bust windows and such.
Yeah. Heck, that's what your head rest is for.
What?
You pop your headrest out, and those little alarms that are formed, those are for breaking the windshield.
Really?
That's why the tips are pointed a little bit.
Are you sure?
Yeah, you never noticed that?
No.
Yeah, I learned that a long time ago.
What the hell? I even worked in a repo business.
Pull it out and...
Huh. Well,
Pretty
there's
good.
a survival tip that actually matters.
Yep.
Gosh, those guys think of everything.
Sure do. But all right, this one's important. Do not suck the venom from a snake bite off somebody.
Yeah, I heard that too. You actually do more damage than good.
It's a comedic gag in the media, but it makes the situation worse because of how fast the venom circulates. And all you'd be able to do is make it most likely put yourself at risk too for infection.
Unless you're a vampire.
You're a vampire.
Open wound.
Dandelions are completely edible from flower to stem.
Mm-hmm.
This one I didn't know.
Yeah, there's fancy restaurants that has dandelion. It's still upsetting though. I don't care.
Oh, it's just
you
saying
order
if you don't have
salad and
anything else, that you can eat that until you find real food.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say no, but there are fancy restaurants that has dandelions in their salads, and I'm like, this is my backyard. I didn't order this.
They do?
Yeah,
I've never seen that.
Yeah, I have. I mean, if you can recognize the leaves, yeah, they're in there. I'm just like, you know what? I don't want a salad you gathered in your backyard. Can you take this away and give me a wedge salad? But anyway.
I've never had that in a salad. Where'd you go to that was like that?
Oh, man, it was years ago. Don't forget that I've been to Chicago and Vegas and all that.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
There's not a lot of dandelions in Vegas.
If you fall off a ship, float instead of swim to conserve your energy. I've heard that one.
That's after you shit yourself and cry because you fell off a ship.
Yep. It says remain where you are and attempt to float using as little energy as possible.
Until the sharks come.
Yeah. Then you're
And
then
you have to worry about punching them in the eye.
Then you're dehydrating because you keep shitting.
Yeah, that's right.
A whistle in the wilderness can save your life. Because the reason is because whistles take far less energy to blow than screaming would, and it cuts through the foliage and can be heard at larger distances. That's a good idea to have a whistle in your backpack that doesn't take up much room or anything.
Oh, that kind of whistle. Oh, I thought you were just like...
No, they're talking about carrying a whistle.
Don't worry.
Looking for you in the woods and you hear somebody whistling.
I'm going to die.
Think he's over here.
Yeah. Oh, he don't need saved. He's whistling. Don't worry, be happy. We're out of here.
Yeah, he's good. Moss doesn't always grow on the north side of a tree. I heard that a long time ago that it did, but it grows wherever it can reach sunlight. That's not a big deal. So they're just saying don't follow that old myth that moss grows on the north side of a tree, so that's how you know where north is. That's not true.
You go by the sun. Rises in the east and sets in the west. And if it's high noon, you're fucked.
Yep. If you feel faint from heat exposure, pour water or ice on your forearms. You heard that one?
No.
It's an old farmer's trick. When you got heat exposure or heat stroke, and it's possible, or if you have ice, put water or ice on your forearms. The veins are closest to the surface, so your skin and your forearms. So pouring the cold liquid or placing a cold object here will cool your body quickly and help you keep going.
Now, what about just regular everyday life? You know, they sell those things that you put around your neck that you're supposed to keep cool. What about putting those on your arms? Would that help? Cool you
If
down?
they're cool. If they're cooled.
That's a good trick. I
Probably.
remember that. Where I work, it gets damn hot in the summer.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a big building, and it gets damn hot. And sometimes it's so hot that you're just so miserable, the last thing you can do is work.
But you got to keep going.
Well, yeah, you have to. So, you know, I drink cold water, and sometimes it'll be just enough relief to where you're not so focused on how miserable you are.
Take a couple little ice packs to it.
That's what I'm thinking. They sell those wrist things.
Yeah, you can do
Yeah,
that.
you can put them in the freezer and then stick them on you, and then your arm hurts like hell.
Well, if it'll help keep you cool while you're working, why not?
So hug an iceberg.
Hug an iceberg. I don't know how this is a survival tip, but it says the star symbol on an elevator button shows the most direct route to exit the building.
That's right. It's usually the ground floor.
Right, lobby. You'd think that anyways.
Head to the lobby.
If you disturb a beehive, now I've heard this, if you disturb a beehive or a wasp nest, don't run for water, run for distance instead.
That's right. Just haul ass.
Because it says if you think that getting to a body of water will make them lose where you were, like they can't smell you anymore or something, that's not true. It says they'll wait to see where you come back.
Nice.
They'll watch for you in the water if they see you go in the water. So it says just run for distance, try to get out of their range. If you're caught in a rip current, swim parallel to the shore and try to get someone's attention. Guess rip currents are pretty bad. I've never swam that far out.
Yeah. Yeah.
What?
I was going to say I've never even swam in Lake Erie, but I did. I just never got out very far.
Do you get rip currents in the lake?
Yeah. Erie's a serious lake.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a serious lake. There's ships at the bottom of Lake Erie.
Yeah. I read that
it may be just a lake, but it's no joke.
we were talking about sharks earlier. I read that bull sharks are able to adapt to fresh water now, which is scary because
they always could.
No, they didn't used to be able to, but they somehow adapted to it so they can come from the ocean up a river. Yep. It's like freaky as hell.
Yep. Yeah, and bull sharks are mean as hell.
Yeah, I heard
they're like the meanest.
Aggressive.
I believe they're the meanest sharks out there.
Yeah, they got the most aggressive.
So, yeah.
Even more than great whites, which is surprising. But
I don't think great whites are all that bad. Like, I think hammerheads are nasty, and tiger sharks will eat anything. Mm-hmm. Of course, I got that from Jaws, so what the hell do I know?
You can always look it up.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure bull sharks are, they're nasty sumbitches.
All right. Yes, I've heard that they are the most aggressive shark, and that's why it's freaky that they can swim up through rivers, and now you don't know if you're swimming in a river if there's going to be a shark come and get you. It's like
I'd be more worried about snakeheads.
Snakeheads?
Yeah.
You mean like copperheads?
No. I mean, like there's a fish called a snakehead.
Oh, there is?
Mm-hmm. And people in this area will buy them, keep them for pets, and then realize it's the most violent fish they've ever come across in their entire life, so they set them free. And they put them in ponds, and they kill everything in the ponds, and they grow and grow. They can grow up to like 6 feet.
Jeez.
Like snakeheads are vicious fish. You can look it up.
I will.
My brother used to have them. And they're fresh fish. They're freshwater fish. And then, of course, you put them in a pond, and they'll just decimate everything.
But then what do they do then? They can't survive.
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know.
Food.
I mean, obviously, it's not a big deal because you've never even heard of them before.
No.
But my brother used to have them.
I've heard of steelhead fish.
Yeah.
But
no,
those aren't
snakeheads.
dangerous.
I think snakehead is an exotic fish, but it's a freshwater fish.
Jesus.
And I've heard, back when my brother had a couple, I've heard stories that people would set them free in ponds because they'd gotten too big and they can't afford them, or they're vicious and they bit their finger off. Now, my brother tells a story where he had a couple of snakeheads, and he bought a bunch of goldfish for feeding fish.
Right.
And he decided to throw them all in there, and he figured the snakeheads would eat one and then be full and be happy and then eat another one. But he said what had happened, and he bought like 12 or something like that, like a bunch of them. And he poured them in there, and he said it was just, he said he'd never seen anything so violent. They just killed every single fish because they were there. And he said the tank was red, and it was like, fish parts floating around. He said it was like throwing them into a running lawnmower or something. He said he's never seen anything so violent in his life.
That does sound terrible. I would not want to mess with that. Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry. And anyway, we'll go back to the woods. This one's about bears again. It says, playing dead for a bear does not work unless you're only confronted by a mother grizzly trying to protect her cubs, because she'll leave you alone.
Oh, that sucks.
If instead you're attacked by a bear because it sees you as prey, the last thing you want to do is play dead. It says, brother, instead make noise, try to make yourself appear bigger, and if you have to, fight back. You can't outrun them.
You can't run up trees either because they go up trees.
They go up trees just as good as anything else.
So basically, don't live where bears are.
Yeah, stay away from the bears.
Yeah. Or an AR-15 helps, because at least you have 11 to more shots, and you can just fill it full of lead. I'm sorry, but a gigantic fucking animal is going to eat me? Yeah.
Yep.
And that won't be automatic. That's just me pulling the trigger that fast.
Yep. If you save someone from drowning, even if they seem fine, take them to the hospital, because there's possibility of lung damage. So even if they've recovered, spit out some water, whatever, they could still get lung damage.
Can you get pneumonia from that?
I don't know. Probably. It just says that they could be at risk of lung collapse. So I don't know. Is that what
Interesting.
pneumonia is?
I think pneumonia is when there's water on the lungs, on the outside.
Oh.
I'm not 100% on that. I just know it can kill you.
If you have nothing else, use potato chips to help start a fire.
Did you say potato chips?
Yes, it says if you're out camping without the appropriate gear to start a fire and all your kindling's wet, use a potato chips. The dry, starchy chips make for a good tinder for starting a fire. It'll burn briefly, but long enough to start a campfire. That's interesting.
Yeah, who knew?
Who'd have thought of that? A simple walking stick can help get you home if you're injured in the woods. I've heard that before.
Mm-hmm.
If you ever injure yourself, use a walking stick to help take some of the pressure off whatever you hurt, like if you hurt your ankle or something.
Mm-hmm.
Lavender can help keep mosquitoes and other bugs at bay.
Lavender, huh?
I've heard that.
And you'll smell like a dryer sheet.
If you can't find anything else, use lavender, and it can also be applied to bug bites to help soothe irritation.
You'd be in the middle of the forest and someone doing their laundry? There must be a house nearby.
Now I know this one. 9-volt batteries and steel wool can be used to start a quick fire.
Yep. And that also happens in your house, so be careful.
Yes, got to be
That's
careful.
another thing. If you have batteries that aren't completely discharged, don't throw them away in one heap, because they can roll around in the trash, touch, and create just enough heat to start a fire.
I've seen people light their cigarettes with a regular, like, AA battery and a stick of gum wrapping paper.
Yeah. I mean,
touching the ends
it's
and-
electricity, and if you have metal that's thin, that metal, I mean,
Yeah, it's connecting. It's
how do you say that? Incandescent? Incandescent.
incandescent.
It's the same thing. The only
It's
difference
it's
between
closing a circuit, basically. What you're doing.
the only difference between a light bulb and what you've just created is a light bulb is creating a vacuum,
Yeah.
and the vacuum is what keeps the filament from burning up.
Yep.
So you just gotta be careful. Just make sure your batteries are completely discharged or discharged enough. Because I mean, obviously, it doesn't happen often. There'd be house fires everywhere. But yes,
Be
electricity is
careful with your
electricity.
batteries, folks.
I'm just saying it's possible. I'm not saying it happens a lot.
Well, no, it can happen. It can happen.
Yeah.
People play with batteries all the time, and
Yeah, people
not
throw
careful.
batteries away that are like, oh, these are old, but they're still fully charged.
yeah,
All it needs to do is, I mean, it has to roll in around just right. Because a normal battery, that's pretty long distance between positive and negative. You know, AA's are more dangerous because they're right there. You only have to hit one side to touch something, whereas a AA, you've got them on, opposite sides. But it's still possible.
you mean the 9-volt has them right there?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, 9-volt battery has a negative and positive right there.
Yep.
But anyways, just saying, just keep it in the back of your mind.
Now this says this one may seem counterintuitive, but if you're lost, do not eat snow to stay hydrated.
Why not?
It says it's more important to keep warm in freezing climates, and eating snow or icicles can severely drop your body temperature, which can lead to hypothermia.
Unless it's super hot in the summer and then don't do shit.
Well, where are you going to find ice and snow in the summer? Now?
Any freezer. I'm not talking about survival. I'm just saying if it's hot.
Yeah, that's a little different. You're at home. You can.
Yeah.
You want to eat snow, eat snow.
When you're out in survival,
Don't eat the
it'll
yellow
kill you,
snow.
hyperthermia. But, if you're burning up, then it ain't going to do nothing.
What do you mean? If you're hot and you eat ice, it's going to cool you down.
All it does is make my brain hurt.
You talking about ice cream?
I'm just talking cold. If you're hot and you eat something cold, I instantly get brain freeze.
You're one of them peoples.
Yes.
Don't wander off to look for help. If you get lost, stay where you are. It is more likely they will find you if you stayed where you are instead of moving around.
And of course, you don't know that until you move.
If you believe you're being followed by somebody in your car, take 4 right turns. It'll take you right back to where you were, and if they show up there too and complete the circle, you know they're following you.
Great. Now, every single woman on the road is going to be constantly just turning.
Well, there's nothing wrong with being safe. I don't think there's any problem with that.
I usually just go 100 miles an hour. If they're still behind me, then they're following me, damn it.
If you become trapped in a snowstorm while driving, don't leave the car and don't leave the engine running. It says you may become claustrophobic or believe that you can find better help on foot, but your best chance of survival when stuck in a snowstorm is to stay put in the car. It offers shelter from the elements and keep you warmer than you would otherwise be. Don't just run the engine. The exhaust may become blocked with snow and leading to fumes entering the car.
That's right.
Oh my God, these go on forever.
I know. I'm kind of waiting for the last one, but it hasn't happened yet.
No, I think we can stop there. And we can,
Is there any really interesting ones?
Don't urinate on a jellyfish sting because it could become infected. I've heard that one where you pee on a jellyfish sting, but I've never done it or seen it happen.
Look, peeps, it's this simple. Urine is good for one thing, and that's for eliminating toxins from the body. That's it. That's it. You know, I heard a theory. Okay, we have... there is one good thing that urine can do, but you need a ton of it, and that's killing weeds. But before you go out in front of your house and start peeing all over your weeds, you might want to remember that it takes a lot of it. I heard a theory. We had a cat that runs through our front yard. No big deal, but it sets off our security cameras 100 times a night. So I looked it up, and the internet says that cats don't like strong smells. So coffee grounds and or urine can deter it.
Okay.
So I'm like, well, I mean, it's free to try.
Yeah.
So I collected the coffee grounds for, I don't know, until I had quite a bit. They were all moldy. This is used coffee grounds, of course. And then I started collecting pee. I started peeing in milk jugs. And I figure when I have enough of it to actually spread around, it's gross, but like I said, it was free. So I did that. So I had this gallon jug, and I'm throwing my urine, like a week's worth of urine, all over the front yard, and then I put down coffee grounds.
Killing the grass.
No, it was in the flower bed, and our flower beds don't have any flowers because flowers take maintenance, and screw that. So I threw it all over and it didn't care. The cat just walked right through it the very next night, so that didn't work. But I do know that urine will kill plants, and in the back here. In the back of the house, I don't do it in the front. When you need to kill the weeds, you can just relieve yourself, but it takes a lot. Like you have to do it for like a week, but it does work.
Interesting.
But yeah, it takes a lot, and you only want to do it after dark. You don't want to be peeing on your. Hi, Bob. How you doing this morning? Just watering the plants.
Look at this one.
Look at it. Don't build a fire inside a cave. It could. There you go, buddy.
A cave in.
Why don't you finish that one?
All right. Don't build a fire inside a cave because it could cause a cave-in. We talked about that. It says that the heat from the fire can lead to expansion of the moisture trapped in the cave rocks. When this expansion occurs, it causes the rocks that make up the cave ceiling and walls to break, which will most likely mean a dangerous cave-in that can kill you.
Vindicated. Totally did. Anyways.
I'm going down, seeing if there's any good ones.
All right, well, I have one more thing I'm talking about.
Duct tape is an essential survival tool.
Damn right.
It can be used for a sling, a bandage, or even a can opener.
And as we've seen in Ohio, we can hold bumpers on cars.
Mm-hmm.
Can keep windows up, and it can shut people up.
I don't understand how you can make a makeshift can opener out of duct tape.
A makeshift what?
Can opener.
Yeah, that is very interesting. I don't know how duct tape can open a can. I mean, you can do a lot of things. You can actually create a container out of duct tape. But, I mean, Mythbusters created a cannon out of duct tape.
Jeez.
Not even joking. A can opener. What, do you just rip the top of the can off?
I don't know.
I think they're full of shit. I think that's a typo.
No, it said that. Rationing water can be deadly, so to stay hydrated as long as possible to keep your mind sharp.
That's true. Water breeds bacteria.
Well, that's not necessarily that. They're talking like this lady has a bottle of water. What they're saying is don't just drink a little bit now, a little bit later, a little bit later.
You'll just die slower.
Get hydrated and stay hydrated as best you can.
All right, well, we have 5 minutes.
All right.
Ooh, we have 0 dropped frames. How about that?
This has been a good day.
I'm telling you what, man.
Use a wet sock to keep your drinking water cool in hot climates. Didn't know that one.
Yeah. Evaporative cooling. Just don't mind that. There's a ghost, and he's pissed.
Somebody threw something.
Oh, that got the dogs going. They're going to claw my door apart.
The body loses heat 25 times faster in water than it does in air.
Yep.
So
yes,
stay
sir.
out of the water if you can.
We all know that. We've all used water to cool things down. Why am I talking? I should just shut up. All right, well, we only got 5 minutes left, so I'm going to dive into this real quick.
Go ahead.
All
Covered
right.
enough anyway.
I know that we talk a lot about giving us a phone call, on the Gripe line and all that. I don't even have the number with me. I haven't had the phone active because nobody's called. But you can always send us emails. Mm-hmm. So if you did try to get a hold of us, I'm just lazy. I have to buy the cards and I have to activate the phone and all that. We still have it. It's real, but I haven't activated it in a couple of months. But, ohiogripe@gmail.com. Shoot us an email. Let us know how we're doing because, we're still winging it here.
Mm-hmm.
Just suggestions. If anybody wants to talk about it. I know that I've been saying this for almost a year now, but I'm still telling you that we are going to talk about traffic at some point. I'm still trying to find either a lawyer or a cop. Can you do me a big favor and turn that thing off, please? I'm afraid if the kerosene is out, it's going to burn the wick up.
Yeah, no problem.
Sorry about that, peeps. I had to ask my co-host here to do something for me. He'll be back in a second. But if anybody out there knows a lawyer or a police officer, retired or active, or anybody who's in that field, like maybe someone who works in a field at a insurance company, just someone who knows, who's lived it and seen, and all that kind of stuff. If you know somebody who's willing to come on the Gripe, and we're not going to, throw opinions around, we're just going to talk. That's all we want to do. We just want to talk about, the traffic and, current events and things like that. Again, it's no pressure. We're not going to try to back you in a corner to give an opinion that can get you in trouble, and we're not trying to do that.
Try to talk about laws and stuff like that.
Yeah, someone who knows the laws better than the average person. I guess that's a much better way to put it. Thank you, Adam.
Yeah.
And we have a landscaper who's going to come on, and we're going to talk about things like that. These are things that I swear we're going to do. We just haven't had a chance to do it yet. The landscaper will probably focus more towards May, maybe early June, just because he can kind of tell you how to take care of your yard, some tips on that. So we're waiting for the right month. And then, of course, the traffic we'll do any time as soon as we can get someone who's willing to come on and be a guest. But anyway, so I just happened to think of that last week that we've been saying, we're going to talk about traffic, and that was a suggestion by a couple of the listeners. We are going to do it. I just didn't want it to just be us, just the two of us, Anyways, so if you know someone who's willing to come on and who has some experience, like I said, whether you're traffic cop or regular cop, retired or active, or a fireman would be good. Someone who knows the laws, or a lawyer who deals with traffic laws or just the laws, period. Just, I don't know, tell them to hit us up on the Gripe line because obviously we don't know who they are. Right. And just send us an email and say, I'll be willing to talk about it and we'll schedule something. This podcast is extremely portable, so we could do it anywhere at any time almost. And on a lighter note, I just wanted to go through these numbers real quick. We pretty much do everything through buzzsprout.com. It's the website that we post our audio through, and they help us with everything. And the Gripe isn't big enough for it to start generating some income, which is kind of necessary because up until now, everything's been coming out of my pocket. And the wife is not happy about that, but, we believe that down the road, this thing is going to grow. And, of course, this helps. One of the pages on the website tells you your statistics. How do you say that word?
Statistics.
That one. Oh, and he just blurts it out like it's no big deal. So we have, this will be, I think, 36 episodes total. I know we're going on to season 2, but 36 episodes, I believe this one will be. Well, we have 458 downloads. That means 458 times someone had listened to the Gripe for 35 episodes. I personally think that is amazing.
Yeah. Thank you very much, everybody.
I put something on on Facebook, but I understand Facebook is horrible and not everybody goes to Facebook. But, so I just wanted to go over some of these statistics. We only got like a minute left, but, it's like all of all time, 458 downloads for 35 episodes. And then it breaks it down even further. Episode 1 got 34 downloads and so on and so on. But that makes sense because that's the oldest one. But I'm going to go, I need to click on the proper thing here. Locations. I love looking at the locations. It's so much fun. So, it goes to the map of the world. So, 440 downloads, 96% are in North America. Imagine that. But we have a single download in South America. So, someone clicked on it and said, these guys suck. But Europe, you have 15 downloads in Europe. Now, that's 15 times 3% that someone's listened to it, and 2 in Asia. So someone checked this out and either said, there's this thing called Ohio Gripe, you gotta listen to it, it really sucks. Or they said, maybe I'll listen to the next one, and then decided we sucked. But what I wanted to point out is, here it says countries or territories, okay? And like I said, 95% is the United States. 2%, 11 downloads are in France. Thank you so much, France. Maybe you can send us a croissant.
Jeez.
And then Germany. I'm an idiot. Germany. Sorry, everybody. I work with a guy named Jeremy. Maybe that's where it comes from. 3 downloads from Jeremy. And then Japan, 2 downloads in Japan. Mexico, Brazil, and Spain each have a single download. That's probably accidental.
Probably.
And then it goes to the United States. And this is what really kills me. 54 downloads, 13%, and it's the highest city in Ohio is Alliance. Thank you, Alliance. Yes. Obviously going there for the Fortress of Fear and the water park, which is, I think, going to start up in a few months. That obviously did a lot. So we're going to have to make more of an effort to get out there and see you guys in person, because if Alliance is now the highest city next to Massillon, and of course we live in Massillon, so a lot of our friends and family are in Massillon. So 13% both in Alliance and Massillon, 54 downloads in Alliance and 52 in Massillon, and then 48 in Canton. So thank you so much. That's mostly friends and family. Love every one of you. Then Cleveland, 35 downloads in Cleveland. So somebody in Cleveland's listened to us.
That's cool.
Ann Arbor, Michigan is the next one in line. So you got Alliance, Massillon, Canton, and Cleveland, and then it jumps to Ann Arbor, Michigan. 16 downloads.
Cool.
4%. Then North Canton, 15 downloads, 3%. Detroit, Michigan, 10 downloads. Now, you got to understand, nobody accidentally downloads and listens to a podcast 10 times.
No.
2, 3, yeah. So someone in Michigan, hi, let us know how things are doing. I know you guys had a rough patch a few years back. Are you doing better? Are you building? Are you not building? What's going on? North Olmsted, Ohio, got 10 downloads. My tongue just don't want to do it. Minnesota, Minneapolis. How do you say that? Minneapolis. Sorry, I know. Obviously, I know about it, but my mouth doesn't want to go. 10 downloads in Minnesota, and then we got 9 downloads in Florida, Wintergreen, Florida, and then Columbus comes in at 8 downloads in Columbus. Orlando, Florida, 7 downloads.
Winter Garden, Florida.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. And then Ormond Beach, Florida, 7 downloads, and then here, Chile de France. Sorry, can't even. Yeah, we can't pronounce that. Sorry. And then another Florida, Sun City, Florida. That's my aunt. Hamilton, Ohio, Brunswick, Denver, Colorado. 4 downloads from Denver. Thank you so much.
That's pretty awesome.
I know. It just blows me away. And then there's so much more.
We're all over the place. I love it.
So I just wanted to go over that. We're growing, but the best way for us to grow is for you guys to talk about us. So if you like what we're doing and you're happy about us, tell your friends, family. The best way to
keep listening.
Yeah, the best way to describe us is we're just easy listening. We're just fun. We don't talk politics because it's too ugly. Not that we won't, but we don't. We normally don't
like to.
I would like to talk about medical issues, but nowadays even those have become highly
politicized.
They become Anyways.
He means politicized.
Yeah, politicized. And, So we tend to, we're trying to make you smile. We're trying to make you wake up on your way to work or enjoy work a little bit more, or just give you something to laugh about when you get off work.
At the very least, give you something to talk about with your friends.
Yeah. So again, if you want us to talk about something, we'll talk about it. I'll talk about fucking anything. I don't care.
Yeah, even if we don't really want to talk about it, we will.
Yeah.
If you guys want to hear
I mean, embarrassing body stuff, bring it on. Politics, I got opinions. I don't know if I'm right.
Yes, just remember that it's opinions. We're not saying we're experts on anything.
No, but that's the first thing I say. If someone out there knows more, then please hit us up. I'm always interested in learning.
Right.
Sometimes you got to bring up a controversial topic in order to learn something about it. But anyways, we're doing good, and I'm so happy you guys are listening to us, and we just begging for your feedback. Also, I want to touch real quick on the website. I know I've mentioned this before. I'm going to say it again. We do have merch for sale, but the podcast isn't generating any income, and the website that we have wants an additional $500 to do e-commerce. That means you go to the website, you find a shirt, and you can buy it right there in the website. I don't have it. I'm tapped. I have no more money. So if you want to buy a t-shirt, you can send us an email, and I'll either send you a link to a website called Bonfire, which they will take care of everything. You go there, you buy the shirt, they take the money, they ship it to you. Or go to our website, find a shirt or an item you want, get the color, the size, and send us an email. And your I'll need a method of payment, of course, and then I'll need an address, and then I will order it for you. So you can still buy anything that's for sale on our website, but until I get the $500 to do the e-commerce, you're going to have to send us an email, and I can order it that way. I have a shirt from both the Bonfire website and the website that handles our merch now, and the shirts are real high quality. They're really great. They're not cheap, but they're not horribly expensive either. But anyways, so I just wanted to let you know that even though there's merch and you go to click on it and it says you can't buy it, you can. I just don't have the $500 to, bring the website up to where it needs to be to where we can take payment. So bear with us.
We'll get there.
But, you can buy the merch. It's just a little more involved. You got to send me an email. And if you don't want to give all that information over an email, that's fine. Just send me an email and let me know how I can contact you, whether it be phone or another way that you can feel safer. And I'm not a thief. I'm not going to steal from you. But anyways, so, all right. Well, we're going to go.
Thank you for listening.
And thanks, everybody. I really appreciate it. And again, we're just dying for some feedback, so let us know how we're doing. What the hell are you doing?
Nothing, just wiping off my computer.
Weirdo. All right, see you guys later.
Bye.
Oh, I got 600 things.